Hi friends. So, new lectures. Now this is based on the caste system in Hinduism. Is there such a system, or how is it, and how is it formed, or what is it? Now, I would like to make it very clear that this fine concept, the caste system, has been abused, especially by some of our politicians. I'm so sorry to say, and also some foreign invaders. Now let us see what is a caste system. We know that there are four castes. They call us Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas and the Sudras. Now, is one trying to overpower the other, dominate the other, is all the questions. My answer is absolutely not. I am going to give you an explanation based on modern economics also, plus I will quote from the Vedas and the old sayings, Patanjali's sayings, Mahabhashyas. And it will clearly prove that absolutely what we think and debate upon the caste system as of now or in the recent times is highly politically motivated, beyond which there is nothing more to it. There is no abuse of one class or one vibhagaha or one section over the other, and all are equal. All the four sections are absolutely equal as per our Vedic bhashas. Let me quote from you. But before that, I would like to say, what is this caste system? It is nothing but absolutely Adam Smith's division of labor. Specialization required in a society to flourish economically. That's it. That's all. Adam Smith wrote in his book an inquiry. It's called an inquiry into the wealth of nations, in which he brings out the concept of a division of labor in modern times. He says in a factory, four people, he went there, he saw a pin making factory in which all the four were together were cutting the pins. Then they went to the next table, the second table, together they were sharpening the pins. They went to the third table, together they were making head for the pins, and went to the fourth table and together they packed the pins. This, he says, is absolutely wrong because it would not yield more economically. So what he suggested, let one man alone cut the wire in the first table, let him stick on to that. The second, the one man alone, the second man, sharpen it. Then in the third table, one man alone make the head of the pin. And in the fourth table, one man alone, the fourth man, let him pack it. In that way, what happened was, instead of making 1,000 pins a day, automatically it shot up to 4,000 pins a day. Because the first man who was cutting the wire developed fluency, skill in cutting. As he went day by day, when he was experienced in a particular activity, his skill developed. Therefore, instead of cutting 500 pins today, automatically next day he was cutting 550. Next day he was cutting 600 because he is used to it. The other man making the point for the pin, sharpening the pin, was sharpening it beautifully. He did not worry about making the head or cutting the wire or packing. He simply was sharpening the wire. Likewise the third and likewise the fourth. Therefore the output developed. Exactly this is what it is in the caste system. The Brahmanas are those who are professors, scholars. If you say scholar in English, it is nothing but Brahmana or the professors or the educated people in the system. That's all. It is not by birth or something. Let me analyze. I am going to tell you how it is. Then if you say Kshatriyas, they are very valiant people. They were using the shoulders. They were warriors. And the third one, Vaishyas, traders, means they were doing the economic activity, buying, selling, producing, creating wealth in the economy. You require producers in the economy. And the fourth was a Shudra. He was an agriculturalist who did all the legwork, services. Now imagine if it is going to be shifted, if a cricketer, like for example, a Sachin Tendulkar now wants to sing and he leaves his profession and goes to singing or does both this, when the skill would not be revealed to this extent. Similarly, a very big singer like Mohammed Rafi, if you ask him to play cricket when he was alive for Bombay or for India, and then again singing, both these activities, mingling, may not bring the best out of him. He would not be a specialist. He would not be the highest singer, the high point singer. Or the cricketer would not be the high point cricketer. He may be a cricketer. Therefore, a doctor has to be a doctor, a lawyer has to be a lawyer, an engineer has to be, because they have to focus their thoughts on their activity. So they develop skills. So such of those people who focus their activity on scholarly work, they were called as Brahmanas, or you call themselves as professors or technicians or scientists in modern parlance, that's all. And now you are calling army, they were called Kshatriyas. And now you are calling industrialists, businessmen, they were also Vaishyas. These are olden times. And now you are calling us the agriculturalists, the service-oriented people, the laborers. Well, they are also required. And they were called as Shudras. See, in what way one is being dominated over the other? You should have brains for any activity. You should have the valor. You should have the business acumen to produce for the wealth of the society. You should have the service-oriented people who do the legwork. You should have all these activities, is it not? And now I am going to come to how it was, whether it was abused by one section, Brahmanas or the Sudras or something. Absolutely not. Some authors may have written down the line, but in Vedic system, no. How? I will tell you. See, most of these, the very primary verse I am going to say is from Purusha Sukta, where it says, Brahmanaha asya mukham asit, bahu rajanya kritaha, uru tat asya, uru tadasya yat vaishya, padbyam shudro ajayata. That's all it says. Brahmanaha asya mukham asit means mukha in Sanskrit. Please note, let us know the meanings of Sanskrit very well. One is the face, the other is the mouth. Both have the absolutely powerful meaning on these two objects. Mouth is also called mukha. So mukha asit means chantings were done. Those who do the Vedic chantings, those who speak well, because in those times, we are talking of 7,000-8,000, it was more a Shruti and Smriti, not Lekanam, not writing. So those who are expressing their thoughts, expressing science, expressing Vedic sciences by chanting, by speaking, Brahmanaha asya mukhamasi. The professor existed in his mouth. That is the arthaha. The scholar existed in his mouth. Brahmanaha mukham asi bahu rajanya kritaha. Bahu means shoulders. That's all. No, you have to, the valor rests in your shoulders, right? Simple, poetic way of putting it. Then uru, waist. Tat asya vaishyaha means if you're rich man means you're generally fat and your big stomach means you're prosperous. A physical symptom attributed to prosperity is a big stomach. So the traders, the industrialists, the business people, they're all rich people. They should be. They are all producing goods and services in the economy. And Padbyam Shudro Ajayata, from the leg, because they do the leg work. They go to the field, they plow, they take the produces, come back, put it in the market, and then they again sow, bring the seeds. They do all sorts of legwork, not only agriculture, helping a doctor, helping Aushadha, helping the king, helping everyone. You cannot sit. Whereas the Brahmana can sit on the table and chant, and sit on a chair, on an asana, or in a Gurukula, sit on a particular seat and asana, and from the asana he can speak. But here the Shudra has to use his legwork. And in those days, Kshatriyas were using more of their shoulders because it was all a spear throw in the battle or fighting with the swords, carrying shields, Leg is also important. I don't say no, because they were also mounting on the horses. So leg was not as much as important as the Shudra. That's why they said shoulder. See, all these things reveal only division of labor. There was no abuse or unnecessary, unjustifiable domination of one sect over the other. Secondly, my dear friends, in our Hindu Shastras, when you worship God, where do you offer petals? On the head of the Lord or on the foot of the Lord? See, that shows the respect we have for service-oriented Shudras. Shudras, the word came from Sudhas, was a king. He had his followers and he was helped by Indra in the battle of 10 kings. Somewhere it happened near northwestern province of Pakistan today's Pakistan. The battle happened of battle of 10 kings, and he was the king Sudas had his tribes. They were called Sudras, that's all, the tribal name, the soldier's name, not even a tribal name. It's a soldier's name. And where it has been disrespected, when you offer flowers as per your Hindu worship, way of worship, our way of worship is offering flowers to the deity. And where do we offer? Not even on the head. We offer to the feet of the Lord. And that is how Yudhishthira sat at the feet of the Lord, not on the head of the Lord. Duryodhana sat there because of his pride and he could not get the Lord. But you can get the Lord only if you sit on the feet of the Lord. See, these are all instances that prove that Shudras were more respected than anybody else. Whereas some political parties, they have the indignation to unnecessarily blame the religious structure of Hinduism. That should not be done. I don't accept it. This is the basic philosophy. Brahmano asya mukhamasid bahura janya kritaha uru tadasya edvaishyah padbyagum shudro ajayata. Then you get chandrama manaso jataha chaksho suryo ajayata. It describes the Purusha, it describes the universe, that's all. And one portion of it is the division of labor. I am putting division of labor because the modern young students would understand only this, because they would not have gone into our Vedic texts. So, in order to make them understand the concept of division of labor as found in the economic texts and as taught in the Western and Indian universities, I am going along those lines to give you a better explanation. Then what did Bhagavan Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? I think chapter 4 and verse 13. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashah tasya kartaram mam cha api akartaram avyayah. Tasya kartaram aham akartaram aham avyayah mam, me. You see me as the kartara and the akartara. The doer and the undoer. Cha api avyayam. I am the unchangeable. Vyayaha means expenditure. Vyayam avyayam. It is a haladi pratyaha. If you put it, you get the opposite meaning of vyayam. So I am unchangeable, unexpendable, whatever it is. What is that? Chatur varnyam. I created 4 castes. Chatur varnyam maya, by me, srishtam, created. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. Bhagavan is very clear. By your character, guna, and by your karma, if you vibhagashaha, by that segmentation, division, I have created these 4 varnas. Simple. If you are a doctor, you are a doctor. If you are doing aushadha and if you are doing medical help to others, you are a doctor. Therefore, you are called as a doctor. That's all. And if you work in the army, you are a Kshatriya. If you help the government, if you help the nation by working in the army, defending our country, you are a Kshatriya. If you are an industrialist producing, or if you are a trader, businessman, whatever classification in modern world, you are a Vaishya. If you are a scholar, you are a Brahmana. That's all. A scholar, an intelligent man is generally respected everywhere because of his intelligence. Intelligence is primarily required. Through intelligence only you start everything, is it not? Whether it is in business, whether you erect machines or whether you produce machines or discover or invent, everything comes from the intelligence only. So those who are producing that, there is not called a separate sect by as it is. They were called a professor's son, when he also becomes a professor, nothing wrong in that. Likewise, their generation, 3 generations, they were all professors or doctors, they were all engineers, or they were all, I know a lot of people for a third, fourth generation serving in the army. So, if you want to take into the modern parlance, a Brahmana can go means he's an army man, he's a serviceman, we call him. So, in what way does our caste system belittles other castes? See, these things come over a period of tradition due to economic considerations. If certain group, say for example tribals, they are living in the hills and not exposed to modern civilization, their earning may be poor. So when they come down to the mainstream for some point of time, since they are poor, because of economic consideration, some section may not mingle with them. As a top industrialist would not mingle with the laborers just like as he mingles with other industrialists. Top section of highly intelligent doctors would not move with ordinary nurses or would not move with ordinary medical servicemen as they move with them, because that is a nature. Here, that those doctors may be from various castes, is it not? Even in our Hindu society, not necessarily from Brahmin groups, from all groups. But because of their intelligence or their profession, they all move together. Even in their own profession, if you come down to an ordinary medical technician, they may not move together in the same way as inviting them to their family, having dinner or free chatting regularly. See, this all happens by the force of natural selection, as Charles Darwin puts it. Therefore, there is nothing here to abuse our caste system. Yes, my dear friends, because it is 17 minutes now, I shall discontinue. This shall be my part number 1. I will continue part number 2 shortly. Till such time, Bhuya Tavat Shubhamangalam. Thank you.